Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm very happy to have you here, guys. Today's video is a follow-up on the Ophidian collection. I have just recently posted a review for Black Cherry from Paris Corner, and in today's video I want to share my thoughts on the other two fragrances that I received from the Dubai collection, from this collection in particular, from the Ophidian line. I have here Mango Bliss and I have here Sweet Surrender. So yes, I will let you know how these fragrances smell like to me. I will let you know if I find them similar to other fragrances or not. I will tell you how they develop, and also when I will talk a little bit about Sweet Surrender, I want to compare it briefly, just like a few ideas, all in all, with Nebras from Latafa, because I do think they share some similarities. So yes, you guys, how are you doing? Have you tried any fragrances from this collection? If you have, I would love to hear your thoughts on the fragrances. Let me know what you think about Black Cherry, Mango Bliss, Sweet Surrender. If you have tried any of these three, please don't forget to share your thoughts on the fragrances in the comment section, because like I always say, and I genuinely feel like I sound like a broken record by now, but I genuinely mean it. Fragrance is extremely subjective, so the more feedback we have, the better. And when, let's just say, someone watches this video and is interested in purchasing either one of these fragrances, I'm sure they could really take your feedback into account as well. So yeah, let's just start. You know what, let me actually start with Mango Bliss. I will add the presentation for the fragrance, and then I will let you know how this fragrance smells like to me. So I will add the notes for the fragrance here on the screen, and let me tell you how it smells like. So this is, I feel like, more of a creative and unique fragrance. It's not the type of fragrance that you smell everywhere, and also it's not the type of fragrance that you blind buy after watching one video online. I feel like this is more of an acquired taste. So you guys, this fragrance, the opening is photorealistic. You know how it smells like in the opening. So imagine you take one piece or like two pieces of a very ripe mango. You cut it, so you have the pulp that's sweet and ripe and a little bit juicy, you know, like watery from the juice. And you have the peel that's a little bit sweet, but a bittersweet type of sweetness, and a little bit green. If you know how mango smells like, I'm sure you already know what I'm talking about, the type of scent profile I'm talking about. You take a vitamin C effervescent tablet, lemon flavored, and you put it on top of the mango, and you see how it all goes bubbly and fizzy. This is legit the opening, you guys. It is photorealistic. Photorealistic. The citrus is crisp, is lemony, slightly acidic, slightly zingy, fizzy, effervescent, slightly bitter as well, but that natural bitterness that vitamin C tablets have. And you put that tablet, like I've mentioned, on top of the mango, so in contact with the juices from the mango, it goes all effervescent and starts to bubble up. This is how the fragrance smells like in the opening. You get a little bit of that sweet pulp part from the mango that's ripe and sweet and very tropical like smelling, but you also get that mango peel type of facet that's slightly more bitter. Again, it does have a sweetness, but it's that sweet bitter type of sweetness, if you know what I mean, and definitely green. So the fragrance in the opening feels green from the mango peel. I'd say, if I were to speak, the mango peel accord or facet is slightly more strong than the ripe mango, like the actual mango pulp. But then on top of this fruity accord, you have that fizzy, crisp, slightly acidic, slightly bitter, lemony, effervescent tablet. So this is how the fragrance smells like in the opening to me. Because of the added citrusy note on top, you have a lot of dimension in the opening. When you spray this fragrance and you lean in to smell it, by the way, I get no alcohol blast in the opening. all these fragrances from this collection are very well done from this perspective. They are very smooth and refined type of fragrances. None feel sharp, none feel like they have that specific alcohol blast that some more affordable fragrances have. But getting back to what I was talking about, even though this is a mango forward fragrance and I do smell the mango, and I told you the mango in the opening feels a little bit ripe in a way that it does have a little bit of sweetness, but how the sweetness of the mango plays into this whole scent composition, let's just say that in the opening is the sweetest to my nose, but the sweetness feels a little bit suffocated, or not even suffocated. Let's just say that the sweetness doesn't get a chance to fully shine, that ripe mango pulp type of sweetness, because of the citrusy accord on top of it that adds, like I told you, that fizzy, acidic, vibrant energy to the fragrance. And then let's just say as the fragrance develops, slowly but surely I detect less and less of that ripe mango pulp type of accord, and I detect more of that green mango peel type of accord, even though that accord has a slight sweetness as well, but it's that sweet and bitter type of sweetness, if you can picture what I mean. So this fragrance, once it gets a chance to develop on the skin, by the way, this has a beautiful development. I'd say this fragrance goes darker and darker and darker. Of course, the citrus accord fades away completely. You are left, like I've mentioned, more with that mango peel that's bittersweet and green. This fragrance smells green, you guys. Not green, herbal green, green from a mango peel, but still green. And then you have different green accents that ground this fragrance even more, I would say. Yes, even now as I'm smelling the fragrance, slowly but surely behind that beautiful mango accord, I start to detect a rich woody accord that it feels quite dark, quite grounding, so it definitely adds a lot of darkness to the fragrance. This woody accord, it does have a slight funk to it, but if I could describe it in this way, it's almost like a creamy, funky type of woody accord. Yeah, they listed agarwood and they listed the oud accord, so I'm guessing it's the oud accord that I detect here. But yeah, it feels dark, rich, slightly funky. But how to describe you the funkiness I'm talking about? Okay, so it's not a skanky oud by any means. It's not a Hindi oud by any means. I'd say, if anything, think of a Cambodian oud accord in fragrances. Think about Bidun SM, think about these kind of fragrances. Even though I would say, compared to Bidun SM, the oud accord I'm talking about, let's just say 5 steps below the level of funkiness of Bidun SM, you know, but it does have that slight tinge of funkiness that in a way makes this fragrance feel even more interesting and complex and creative and artistic and dark and again layered and full-bodied. So yeah, I'm not mad about how the oud accord plays into this fragrance, but I do think that the oud accord, let's just say, even though this fragrance could be considered a unisex fragrance, but for my taste and to my nose, I'd say it's a unisex, borderline masculine leaning mango forward fragrance. I mean, look, I don't know if I could pull off this fragrance, but I don't think I am the target. I mean, not that I don't think. I know for sure I'm not the target audience when it comes to Mango Bliss. But even if you're a woman watching this video, I do think you need to be very comfortable with more woody forward fragrances and with slight green accents. Yes, you have the mango, but again, the mango is deepened, it's darkened by a lot of other facets that feel quite loud, quite unapologetic, quite statement in a way. So yeah, if you're a man and you know you love mango and you're not afraid to rock a little bit of an oud accord here and there and some dark green facets, you could easily try this fragrance. As for a woman, beautiful fragrance. I have nothing to complain about this fragrance. Like, it's very well done, smooth, beautiful transition, beautiful development. Let's just say it feels complex, it feels layered, it feels like it goes through stages. It's not a linear fragrance, though it's an acquired taste for sure. So back to how this fragrance smells like, you guys. Like I told you, I still get that mango peel type of mango accord. That's the most dominant accord, but then that almost like dark, rich, woody accord with a slight creaminess underneath starts to shine more and more, and with that slight funk, but the funk is dosed enough. It's not too funky. For some, I think this might not feel funky at all. If you are not familiar with oud accords at all, you might detect a little bit more of the funkiness. For me, I detect, let's just say, a soft funkiness that just adds to the complexity of the fragrance, and I start to detect this very dark green aromatic facet. Again, they listed cypriol, Think a dark green accord first of all, that feels cold, a little bit earthy, but not earthy in a sense that it's more like damp soil, if you know what I mean. But I guess the combination between the oud accord that feels a little bit funky with a dark aromatic facet from the cypriol could come across as slightly earthy, but doesn't lean in the damp soil territory like it would from a patchouli accord, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I feel like when they wanted to create something like this, they wanted to create something that feels loud, that gives you again a quote-unquote niche experience, because this is not the type of fragrance you would find in the designer section. Again, it's more of an acquired taste, it's more of a love or hate type of fragrance. It's a fragrance that is not afraid to shine. It's a fragrance that's not afraid to be loud, to be smelled, to be seen, you know. It's the kind of fragrance that unless you click with it, the fragrance wears you instead of you wearing the fragrance. So from this perspective, I have to say I appreciate this creative, unique, and unapologetic direction they decided to take this mango accord into. But keep in mind, start with a sample, start with a decant, test it ideally in warm weather. I think to be able to get a full experience of this fragrance, to me you need to test it in warm weather. This is everything I wanted to tell you about Mango Bliss. Let's move on to Sweet Surrender. This is definitely a very feminine fragrance to my nose. I will show the presentation, or let's just say the unboxing part for this fragrance, and then I will let you know how this fragrance smells like. Arrange my blouse a little bit to be able to spray it on my skin as well. So this fragrance, you guys, Sweet Surrender, I think from this collection, from the three fragrances, from Black Cherry, Mango Bliss and this one, Sweet Surrender, this is the safest one to blind buy for a gift. Why I say blind buy for a gift? Because I wouldn't necessarily recommend you to blind buy fragrance for yourself, but if you have a cousin in your life, a sister, I don't know, a co-worker, anyone dear in your life, and you would like to purchase a fragrance for that person in particular, maybe you don't want to spend a lot of money, maybe you want something that's more budget friendly, but still, you guys, it's very well done, beautiful presentation, beautiful bottle, beautiful experience to unbox it. Do not skip out on this collection. And from this collection, this I'd say for a woman anywhere from 15 up to sky's the limit, would be a beautiful gift, and it's the safest, the one that's the most easy to enjoy. Now this, let me just spray it here and add here somewhere over here the note. So this fragrance, you guys, again, this is not a linear fragrance. This opens up with a sugary accord and with something that feels almost like a dark fresh woody accord, but that dark fresh woody accord fades away in all, a minute, let's just say. So this opens up the darkest. This is what I wanted to tell you. This fragrance opens up the darkest, and then as it will get a chance to develop on your skin, it just gets richer and brighter and denser, creamier in the heart, and then more powdery in the dry down. Yeah, but it's the sugary accord that is the star of the show in this fragrance, especially in the opening and then in the heart part. You guys, the sugary accord here, I don't know why it reminds me a little bit of Arabian Stonka, but let me tell you something. So this fragrance definitely follows the DNA of Nebras from Latafa, of Eilish from Billie Eilish. I actually think it's stronger than Eilish from Billie Eilish and Nebras, but I will get to the comparison part a bit later in the video. Yeah, now is the sugary accord. Is that almost like very textured, gritty, sugary accord. You know that you have in Arabian Stonka, you have something very similar here. And I'm not saying this smells like Arabian Stonka, I'm just saying the sugary accord is done in a similar style to the sugary accord in Arabian Stonka. Yeah, so like I've mentioned in the opening, is the sugary accord that's the most dominant. The sugary accord with a slight dry woody facet that will tone down slowly but surely, and with something like powdered sugar, you guys. And this fragrance feels Feels rich and robust, but not in a creamy way like Nebras, but more in a sugary way, if you can imagine the difference. This is in the opening. Then as the fragrance develops on your skin, the scent profile just keeps getting warmer and richer and denser, and definitely more gourmand. In the heart is still the sugary accord that's the most dominant, but I also start to detect a beautiful, sweet, rich, brown vanilla accord that again adds a lot of richness to the fragrance. The cocoa powder starts to shine. It doesn't feel like that bitter type of cocoa powder that you have in Cacao by Fragrance World, for instance. It feels like that cocoa powder that's very sweet, almost like an instant chocolate powder, that Nesquik chocolate powder, if you know what I mean. No, not chocolate, cocoa powder. Instant cocoa powder from Nesquik. This is the type of cocoa powder accord you have here. It feels warm, it feels extremely powdery, dusty in a way, and sweet, for sure. Nothing bitter about it. Yeah, this is how it smells in the heart to me. I think the heart and the dry down part are the most beautiful part of this fragrance. Not to say that the opening is not beautiful, but if you're a lover of sweet fragrances, I do feel like you will enjoy this fragrance more in the heart than in the dry down, but still the opening is not challenging by any means. It's just a little bit different to the DNA. I feel like in the heart and in the dry down it gets more on the direction of Nebras, of Eilish, from Billie Eilish, of all these fragrances, you know. Yeah, it's sugary, it's sweet, it's warm. The vanilla got actually a little bit creamier, not creamy to the level of Nebras, but just a little bit more creamy all in all. So this is how the fragrance opens up and how it develops on the skin. To me, this is that type of easy, rich, no-brainer day-to-day fragrance. If you want something sweet, if you want something very girly, if you want something feminine, a little bit playful, but again, it's not a sickly sweet gourmand, you know, it's a gourmand that has something about it in a way. I'd say, actually, compared to Nebras, by the way, let me compare these two fragrances a little bit. I'd say this feels a little bit more complex than Nebras. This lacks the minty facet that Nebras has in the opening, and also this lacks the creaminess that Nebras has. Nebras, to me, it's more of a simplified scent profile. It starts with a minty-like facet, like I told you. Then you get a beautiful, warm, sweet cocoa powder accord on a base of a creamy and slightly muted sweet vanilla accord. This is how the fragrance smells like. Not a lot of crazy changes are happening as the scent gets a chance to develop. It follows a pretty, I'd say, more of a linear scent direction in a way. Whereas this fragrance feels more complex. You also have the sugary accord here that I don't detect in this fragrance. And this fragrance, all in all, it just feels a little bit more complex. It goes through more of a complex development, like I've mentioned. And it's actually a tad stronger, but don't think strong. Look, what I'm trying to say, both of these fragrances have more of a closed off, subtle, muted quality about them. Now look, this is actually stronger than Nebras to my nose, and then Eclair by Lattafa, by the way, because that is a fragrance that as well has a very subtle, muted quality about it. Now this is stronger than the two, but don't think stronger like this one, for instance, like Mango Bliss or like Black Cherry. I think where this one, let's just say, surpasses a little bit Nebras is projection wise. I don't think this is the kind of fragrance that projects, even though under the review I have posted for this fragrance, some people told me that on them it lasts amazing, the projection on them is amazing, it's a very loud fragrance. Again, like I said, you guys, everyone experiences a fragrance in their own unique way. It might be, I don't know, a matter of different batches, maturation, a matter of just taste at the end of the day, because what I call a strong fragrance, or let's just say that what someone else might call a strong fragrance, for me it's more of a softer fragrance compared to the fragrances that I call myself strong. You know, it's more of a discussion here, but let's not go in there. But yeah, as a baseline, if you love fragrances like Nebras, if you love fragrances like Eilish from Billie Eilish, if you love fragrances like Cacao by Fragrance World, if you love fragrances like Choco Musk, Chocolate Greedy, all in all, if you have a taste for this family of scents in general, something with a warm cocoa powder accord, something with a beautiful vanilla. Here is with an added sugary accord that shines in such a beautiful way. Then definitely take this one into account as well. Look for a sample, look for a decant, test it on your skin and see how you feel about it, you guys. To me, this is that easy, rich, grab and go day-to-day kind of fragrance. I would imagine this would work amazing all year round, but for the daytime. For the nighttime, for my taste, I would feel the need to layer this fragrance just like I mainly wore this one layered, but actually I feel like this is more complex than Nebras as a standalone fragrance. But then again, if you already have Nebras, is it redundant to have this one? Unless you want to have multiples of the fragrance. Unless you want to have multiples of a similar scent profile in your collection, then of course it is redundant. But if you love this scent profile and if you would like to try something with a similar vibe yet with its differences, because this has its differences, it doesn't smell like the same fragrance like the actual fragrance itself in different bottles, you know, it has its differences. Definitely take this one into account, but start with a sample. Like I always say, start with a sample. So this is what I wanted to tell you about this fragrance. To sum up my thoughts on Sweet Surrender from Paris Corner. Beautiful release, the easiest one to blind buy, let's just say, from this collection, and not just to blind buy, the easiest one to pull off, I would say. You don't really need an acquired taste or anything like this. If you love sweet fragrances, if you love fragrances where the vanilla shines with cocoa powder, something sugary there, and if you love fragrances like, again, Nebras, Choco Masco, Cacao by Fragrance World, these type of fragrances, you will have no issues with this fragrance and it will be a beautiful add to your collection. And vice versa, if you don't enjoy those kind of fragrances, or perhaps you do not want to add something like that in your collection, then this is not for you. But I say from all these three fragrances, this Sweet Surrender is the easiest one to buy as a gift for someone in your life. Then I would say Black Cherry, if that person has a taste for richer fragrances, if that person has a taste for more darker, more seductive, more bold, more loud, unapologetic type of fragrances, then Black Cherry would be a better fit. I'd say this is for the girly girls, the women who want a fragrance that feels very feminine and cute and dainty and pretty and sweet, you know. This is for the sweet girlies, I feel like. While Black Cherry to me is for the women who are looking for something a little bit more sophisticated, not sophisticated in a sense of elegant, no, sophisticated in a sense something a little bit more complex, something a little bit more provocative here and there, I don't know, you know, something a bit more mysterious, darker, deeper, that type of energy. Black Cherry, and I'd say this is the least safe one to blind buy, but then this one has its beauty as well. I mean, look you guys, I haven't smelled something like this. As it smells now, the creaminess really gets a chance to shine, but even with the creaminess, I don't know if I could pull off this fragrance, you guys, because I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, objectively I really like how this fragrance smells, like extremely well done, but subjectively, like for my own taste, it's hard for me to imagine an occasion during high heat when I would feel the need to wear something like this. Yeah, I cannot, like, even at a party, like, still I want to smell more sweet, you know, even if in summer, like, yeah, it's hard for me to imagine an occasion where I would pull out this fragrance to wear. This is why, for my taste, it's definitely not the most versatile fragrance. It's an acquired taste for sure. But if you have a taste for this kind of fragrances, by all means, please try it, because I don't think you will be disappointed, especially if you love an oud decor that's done well. This doesn't lean gasoline, this doesn't lean medicinal, this just feels a bit creamy and a little bit funky, but the most subtle and delicate amount of funkiness that just adds something to the fragrance, so it doesn't feel boring, you know. This fragrance has a lot of character and a loud character as well. Those were my thoughts on these two fragrances. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Also, thank you to the team from Dubai Collection for sending me this collection to review it here on my channel. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it. If you haven't watched the review for Black Cherry, make sure to watch that video, guys, because there I give you amazing layering combinations as well with that fragrance. And not only that, but I also compare it to Love Fast Burning Cherry from Kayali, so it's sort of like a 3-in-1, that video. It's like a review with the comparison part, with the layering ideas at the end, you know. Yeah, well, this is more of a review, let's just say, with a slight comparison. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure to check out Dubai Collection if you want to test any of these fragrances. Like I always say, please start with samples, please start with samples, you guys. Test the fragrances on your skin. Take advantage of the fact that they sell samples of all the fragrances on their website, in their catalog, and they have a lot of fragrances there. And if any of the fragrances that I speak about, let's just say, catches your interest, definitely start with a sample. Yeah, I think this is everything I wanted to tell you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram. If you want to tell me anything, please put it in the comment section, and I promise that I will get back to you. By the way, in case you're curious, which is my favorite out of these three, I mean, out of these two and black cherry for sure. Black cherry is the one that's the most me. I am included in the target audience for that fragrance. This one, like I've mentioned, in the case of Nebras, I love how it smells. This one I could actually see myself using it as a standalone fragrance because it has the sugary accord that makes it feel a little bit more rich and vibrant, but only during the daytime. Only during the daytime. I couldn't wear the fragrance at night time. I feel like it's too light and bright, you know. Whereas this is not my cup of tea, in a sense that I couldn't pull this one off, nor am I looking into buying something like this, if I'm being very honest. I like what I like, I love what I love. I know my taste very well in terms of fragrances, and I'm a little bit stubborn. Not really stubborn, but I like what I like, you know. But this one, if you have a taste for mango, a more creative, unique take on mango, if you're a man, and even if you're a woman, why not, by all means. But test it, because again, love or hate type of scent, because it's very loud and unapologetic and quite artistic and creative leaning for sure. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. Let me just close off the video because I want to film something after for you. I will see you in my next video, but until then, I want to wish you an amazing day wherever you are. Bye guys.